All right, we've got a no cooling call this Sunday night, about 8:30. I was finished, but customer was very adamant that he was going to find somebody to come out tonight. I didn't have much faith in his ability to do that, so I just came on. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Okay, the furnace is running and the air is blowing. There's no water in the pan. So for some reason, I appear not to be getting anything out of this carrier unit here. So let's see if we can figure out why. I don't believe we got no power to it. Load control is not green or red. These dadgum Cutler hammers. Yep, see, and there the red light lit up. Which means it's going to be 10 minutes before it lets the low voltage do what we're telling it to do. So we'll just jump the gun and go inside here. See if we can tell what tripped that breaker. Uh-oh. Looks like the Run Cap Bandit's been in here. Let's get the light on. All right. He sure has, and he has laid his Turbo 200 here right in there as if it just could sit right there. And on these carriers, it's awful close to that low voltage right there on the contactor. And I guess since this one is paper, got nothing but a piece of paper around it, stopping it from shorting. I'm getting 7 blinks and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nope, 8, and then one long one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one long one. So we'll have to figure out what that means in a minute. Alright, all we got was a hum. We got no compressor and no fan when I did that. So let's see what the code is supposed to be. Short flashes indicate the first digit in the status code followed by long flashes. Okay, so we had 8 and 1. And 81. Low stage thermal lockout. Alright, which out. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Cut this breaker back off, and we're going to take that turbo whatever it is and get a look at it. All right. So they've got the two blue Hermetics on yellow. The brown is on green. And that yellow common coming down in the middle. Now, see if we can read this thing. You know, a lot of people ask me why I don't carry these things and why I don't use them instead of carrying 50 or 60 other capacitors. And one reason, not necessarily that they're prone to failure, but one reason is these things are 50 bucks, 55 bucks, you know. So let's go to common, and where they had the hermetic on that yellow, 4.25. Oops, that was green. All right, the yellow is over here. So common, yep, she's deader than a doornail. All right. .25, so 5, it's jumped with 5 and 2.5, so that should be reading 7.5. Then the yellow is jumped 20 and 25, so looks like we need a 45 by 7.5. And then we'll find out if these components are actually any good or not. I should have one of those. All right, in order to clear this fault code, I believe all we have to do is pull the low voltage off for a minute. And then just put it right back on. And I believe the fault code clears. It looks like it does. And I do not have a USA made 45 by 7.5, so I'm going to have to mount these two things in here. First, let's see if the components will run. Right, we're getting a compressor, but we are not getting fan, and something tells me that the fan has to run through this board. That's just, so this black probably, I'm gonna guess, powers the fan and then lets it off for defrost. So I might need to run in the house and see what the thermostat says, but I just want to know if this fan motor's any good. Yep, she's running, so go in the house and see if the thermostat is calling. because we don't have a contactor in yet. Just what I was afraid of, one of these daggum early carrier communicators. Cool at 80 and a 79 in here, so. See if that does anything for us out there. But I don't know what would have cut it off. I guess when we unplugged the outside unit, it threw some sort of error up through the communication on that infinity control. It is up and running. It is blowing hot air out here. Warm air anyway. So I need to figure something out to mount these capacitors. So I'm guessing I can take this little one and bring it probably up here. I need a longer jumper wire for my common, and I should be able to mount this 45 right in here close to where it's at. A little more room on that side. But we can climb that hill. What can... Alright, of course I had to wait for the load shed, load control, whatever it is, again. But, so what I decided to do was mount the 7.5 over on this side. I just brought this red jumper here over to the common that's fed off the dual capacitor. And boy, this is sure clumped up in here. Every time I see a load control, I just want to rip it out and throw it away, but we're not supposed to. So, nonetheless, here's the 45, and here's the 7.5, and it's back up and running. And I can only assume the 2 flashes at a time maybe means second stage, I don't know. But apparently I didn't have it off long enough to hit the fault codes again on the indoor thermostat, so we're okay on it, and it fired back up. So I'm going to watch it a few minutes and go ahead and put gauges on it. Just make sure that we don't have a refrigerant issue. Behaving pretty well for a carrier. Speed up. We all know I'm not a huge fan. We've got a little bit of high subcooling, or at least it appears to be. Target on the sticker here is 10. Suction pressure is certainly not excessive. It's not very high. which leads you to believe the oil might be a little bit clogged. And it absolutely is right up there. Pretty bad. It's not like that everywhere, but all around the top of it seems to be pretty bad. Actually really bad in some areas. So I'm gonna watch it a little bit, and if I think it'll stay running, I'm gonna leave it with them tonight, and we'll be back to do a full service on this thing. This one with these louvers, we will back flush just to keep from disassembling the entire thing. But I'm going to watch these pressures for at least 10 more minutes to make sure nothing gets out of whack. If it'll leave them cooling for the night, I'll try to get out here after about the 6 I've already got scheduled for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, and the phone blows up on Mondays, so wish me luck. All right, it's been running about, I'd say 15 minutes at least. Pretty much all the way around the top 5 inches, I would say, is plugged pretty well. It's not great around the bottom, but it's not completely stopped up. So we're going to come back tomorrow. The customer has agreed. We're going to read the pressures again after we clean it. You see our target there is actually 10 right there on subcooling. So I believe if we clear the coil some, it will either lower that head pressure and subcooling and possibly get us back to normal, or maybe it'll even show that it has a charge issue as far as adjusting the charge goes. But came out here this time of night on a Sunday night, hoping for a quick little old, relay or capacitor or something. Ran into a little more than we bargained for. But we got them going, got them some cooling, and we will be back here. So thanks for watching.